By using the dashboard view and block, you can build data visualizations from one or multiple of your data sources in your Notion workspace. Dashboard is a block that you can add to any page, and it is a view in data sources that you can add to the database or also in the layout of the pages within a certain data source. Let's look at how to build and use the dashboard view. Here is a sample database, demo revenue. When I open it, there is a data source, and here I can add a new view. One of the available options is dashboard. When I click on dashboard, I can then edit it. And dashboard is a container of one or multiple views. In here, I'm on the demo revenue database, so I can only add views of the data sources available in here. I made a video explaining exactly what a database and a data source are in Notion. Let's say we can also reuse existing views, but let's assume here we wanna start with a chart view that shows the total revenue. So I'm gonna do amount, sum, the sum of all the revenues recorded in the data source. Then we can set the color in here. And we can also filter as per usual in any view in a Notion data source. Okay, so that's the first chart in here. Now we can add a new column in the same row, or we can add a new row within the dashboard view. For example, let's add a new column here. That's a new view that I'm creating within the dashboard container. This will be a new chart view. And this time, let's look at revenues over time. So on the x-axis, we will show the date by month. On the y-axis, we will show the sum of the amount. We can then further group and add customizations as needed, and also style options to make the chart look like I want it to look. Each chart that I created is a view, which means I can go to settings and change it. So in here, if I want to change the title, I can easily do that from here as per usual. I can also add a tooltip or the description of that view. When a row contains multiple columns, I can resize them as I wish. I can also resize the row. Currently, all the columns within a row resize on the same size. I can add additional columns or add a new row, which adds a new row down here. And then I can continue building the views that I want to see in this dashboard. And the nice thing is that once I'm done, you can see there is a view mode here where I don't get the overwhelming setup mode, but I can just create a page. I can filter in here, and I can see the data, click on the chart to see the underlying data as well, and add additional filters. If I want to go into edit mode, then I can click edit and I go into edit mode. I find this a desirable feature so that if I want to just view the data, I don't need to get overwhelmed with all the settings and editing options. When I click on the settings on the dashboard view, I can also show the icons in the headings. As you can see here, this will be based on the view. For example, because that's a chart, that's the standard view that a chart view gets. But if I want to edit the icon, I can do that easily from here and select a different icon, like so. When I click on the title, you can see I can also move left, I can move right, I can move to a different row and easily create a new row above and below. So this makes building the dashboard and the layout easy and intuitive. The second way to build the dashboard, where you can include multiple data sources, is on any page. When I type slash, I can type dashboard view or linked view of database as well, and then I select it. And here I'm in editing mode, so I'm going to select the data sources that I want to link right here. I can select multiple views. For example, I can build a view of the revenue pipeline. In here, let's say I'm going to show amount, sum by channel, like that. And then I want to add a new view. This time it's taking data from a different data source, the pipeline, let's say, that has deals stored in it. We can see deals by stage and BNC value, sum, and the same settings as before apply. So I can edit the view, and all the customizations. I can add rows, resize columns in a row, show or hide icons in headings. Additionally, I can filter the entire dashboard view across all the data sources. For example, this one, we know that this is pipeline value, and this is revenues by channel. So when I select a filter on the dashboard level, I can add filters from specific data sources included in this view, or I can also filter multiple data sources. So when I do this, I then can select what properties I want to filter by. If you want to filter multiple data sources, you need to have a property that is shared across those data sources. It might be a relation property, maybe a select property that has the same values. In my example, the channel property is present in both data sources. So if I filter, I get that filter applied to both views right there. So if I select a date, then I can filter by date on both data sources. The name doesn't have to be the same, the options don't have to be the same, although it makes sense to use global filters when you have the same data shared across data sources, usually. An additional way to use the dashboard view is in the layout of pages in data sources. For example, here is a data source of initiatives that contains sub-initiative. Let's say you want to create a tab, that's a view, of the related sub-items by status, for example. So for this, I can create a new tab, and here under layout, I can select dashboard. And now I can set up the dashboard as per usual, adding a new view of this data source. We can make it a chart like this by status, and then we show the count. I can also show, for example, the number of sub-items that exceeded the deadline that are overdue. So I will show here the count, show sub-items, and then I will filter by deadline is before today. And you will see I will be able to see the overdue items and any other view that I add to the dashboard.